Hello everyone, welcome back to the Redline Racing League. This is Race 2 of the Monday's Division 1. Results from Race 1 are reversed to set this grid, which means if you finish last in the first race, you start on pole this time around. On pole, we've got Dan in the Toyota Supra. P2 in the Lexus RCF is Big Ashy. P3 is Martin with a Y in the Porsche 911. In fourth position, switching from an Aston Martin to a Porsche 911 is Left Rear Puncture. P5, switching from the Viper to the Lexus RCF is Rust. P6, switching from Aston Martin to Mercedes is Octokong. P7, once again driving the Volkswagen Beetle is AV. In P8, in the Peugeot RCZ, Damien Black. In ninth position, driving a Nissan GTR is Calais. Running out the top 10 starting drivers, in the Hyundai Genesis, Wooski Racing. In 11th position, driving a McLaren, it's Joker. In 12th position, switching from the Aston Martin to the Hyundai, it's me, OD. And rounding out the field, your winner from Race 1 in the Lexus RCF, Squad Robot. That's your field. Here we are at the start. It was a relatively clean turn 1. Riding on board with Martin with a Y here in P4. Battled between the Porsches for third spot, hitting into the first hairpin. Oof. And it appears that Martin with a Y missed his braking spot, getting into left rear puncture, nonetheless slowing down to give the position back. Halfway through lap 1, riding on board with Joker in the McLaren. Having a really good battle with that Peugeot RCZ. Takes the position for P8. Just enjoying the chase cam point of view shot, looking back at the squabble from 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Checking out this heated battle for the 10th and final top 10 position. And Calais actually gets bumped off by another driver, sending him into a spin. All right, here on lap 2, Big Ashy in P2 at turn 1 gets a little bit wide, almost loses it, gathers it up, dropping back a few positions. Creating a very, very close battle. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th all together. Alright, hairpin number 2, riding on board with left rear puncture. Having driven this track here at the Topolis multiple times, it's very important to try and save the tires. Like with Race 1, drivers must use both tire compounds, Racing Soft and Racing Super Soft. On board with It's Me OD, as we see that Damien Black unfortunately misses the braking spot, going off into the sand trap, almost collecting Martin with a Y. After a dismal first race, Dan in the Toyota Supra here on the Racing Supersoft compound, leading the way with a rather sizable margin back to second spot, Wooski Racing. Wooski in the Hyundai Genesis also on the Supersoft compound. Maybe maybe about half a second back to the third position of Joker in the McLaren, who's actually on the Racing Soft compound. So perhaps starting on the soft, looking to switch to the Super Soft compound during the pit stop. Fourth spot, we see Rust doing a nice job in the Lexus RCF. Has already made up one position, also on the soft compound. Ahead of P5 is Octacong, making up a position from the start. Again, on the soft compound, actually separated between the two OHD drivers of Rust and Squad Robot. Squad Robot, your race 1 winner, who's actually made up a tremendous amount of positions from the start. Here, only on lap 7, has gone from 13th place up to 6th. From starting on the Super Soft compound, in P7, Big Ashy, another Lexus RCF, holding position. It's certainly difficult starting here towards the front at Autopolis as we look at AV occupying position 8. Volkswagen Beetle on the Super Soft compound, right ahead of the Nissan GTR of Calais, who, despite having a go-around, has bounced back to be sitting here in the top 9. Calais on the soft compound tires, actually sitting where they started. Running out the top 10, It's Me OD, who's made up a few positions. Looking at Martin with a Y in the beautiful yellow Dog's Trust Porsche 911. Started on the soft compound, but unfortunately had a early race incident. As we see Damian Black in 12th spot, the Peugeot RCZ on the soft compound. But hopefully when the pit stop cycle happens, the Super Soft compounds will prove beneficial to make up some of the lost time. Running out the field, left rear puncture on the Super Softs. Having a relatively difficult start to this race. Mistakes from other drivers. After 8 laps, Dan pulling into the pits. Ski Racing following suit. Putting in just a little bit of fuel. And we'll have to tell if these will be 1 or 2 stop races for these drivers. And with a couple drivers already making the pit stop, Joker leading from Rust, Ski Racing in P3, Octacong, Dan in P5, It's Me OD, AV, Squad Robot, Calais, and Martin with a Y rounding out your top 10 here on lap 9. And as you can tell on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, it's the 15-minute mark. It's officially the halfway point. Big Ashy ahead of Damian Black in 11th and 12th. And running out the field, left rear puncture. Taking a look at Joker, end of lap 9. Opts to come into the pits. Was on the Racing Soft compound. Rust also going to follow suit, coming into the pits. Octacong, that beautiful Petronas Mercedes AMG. Along with Squad Robot and AV coming in the pits also. cycling through here on lap 14 with about 5 minutes left to play. Really good battle between Wooski Racing and Joker. As Dan in P3, not sure what had happened there. It appears it's possible maybe there was a disconnect, which would advance Rust into 3rd position, Kale into 4th, Octokong into a top 5 position, AV and the Beetle in P6. Race 1 winner Squad Robot into 7th position, ahead of It's Me OD, Big Ashy in 9th, and Martin with a Y rounding out the current top 10. Ahead of Left Rear Puncture and Damian Black, with Dan situated as a DNF for this current race. So we take a look at Left Rear Puncture. Has had a rather difficult race. Atopolis is certainly, from a swordsman point of view, one of my worst tracks. This track is so tricky, and it's especially tricky when there's drivers trying to go maybe side by side, missing their braking spots. And unfortunately for Left Rear Puncture, it's just been some unfortunate luck. Here we are on lap 17. Just over a minute left to go. Wooski Racing leads the way in the Hyundai ahead of Joker in the McLaren. 3rd spot is Rust in the Lexus RCF. With probably a 5 to 6 second gap in a rebound drive from Kale in the Nissan GTR, who was spun around at the very start. Was back in 13th position, sit in 4th place. Well done, mate. 5th spot, Octokong. 6th, AV. 7th, Squad Robot. 8th, It's Me OD. 9th position, Big Ashy. And rounding out the top 10 as they stand, we still have some racing left in the books. Martin with Y. With Left Rear Puncture sticking in there. Alright, it's the final lap as we see the timer is set to 30 minutes. So rounding the final turn, Wooski Racing gonna go ahead and take the W. Well done. Ahead of Joker. What a close battle. A 30-minute race. And the margin of victory was maybe a second and a half at most. Rounding out the podium is Rust. Kale gonna go home and take 4th position. Running at the top 5 in the Mercedes AMG, the lone Mercedes AMG, it's Octokong. AV in P6, and a Squad Robot in 7th. 8th spot's the other Hyundai Genesis, It's Me OD in 8th position. Running the final turn, Big Ashy gonna take 9th. Martin with a Y will take 10th. Left Rear Puncture in P11. And unfortunately, we had 2 DNFs for this race in the 13 car field. Yes, Atopolis is such a tricky track. It's a track that eats up tires, especially when you're racing on the Racing Soft and the Super Soft compounds. But nonetheless, must applaud the full field of drivers. Thank you so much for watching. I invite you to like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!